60 miles north of London, 7 miles north of Bedford. 2 villages. The total population of the villages is 800 people. The villages are almost entirely circled by the River Ouse, with access to Felmersham over an early 19th century bridge. A lot of flood meadows around here, and on both these villages both have a bridge similar to this, very narrow, and there are raised walkways for the general public to walk along when the river floods. Very difficult to imagine that this river can rise 12-20 feet when we get a lot of rain. The road bridge over the river, which is the same river because it's going round in circles, so to speak, and the other village, Radwell, is a mile down the road, which we're going to visit later. Look at these little tiny, I don't know what they are. I thought they were tadpoles to start with, but I don't think they are. I think they're something like minnows. I'm not quite sure. I'm not into fish. Anyway, the bridge over the river at Radwell is a century early than the one here. It's 18th century. It was built between 1220 and 1240. I'm sorry, 1220 and 1240 is when the early English Gothic style church was built here in Felmersham. And in 1991 this church was restored to the cost of £82,000. See that lovely bus shelter there? Everything is built in keeping with the general architecture in the village. The old schoolhouse here was built in 1846 and has on its roof the original little bell tower that used to clang and tell all the children it was time to come to school. And here we have the tithe barn, which dates to 1428. Well, this house here, of course, used to be the Plough Public House and Inn. And Ploughside is the house that was built next to the Plough Inn. Now, College Farmhouse, don't know how that got his name. Was there a college here at some time or other? Well, of course, where there was a manor house in the village, this is where the hierarchy lived. You had plenty of money if you lived in the manor house, and these people obviously encourage doves. And now you can hear the dogs barking because I got permission from a young lady to go into her garden to film this huge sunflower, which unfortunately is just about at the end of its day. And there's the pussycat keeping its eye on the little mouse up on the weather vane. And there's still some buddleia about and butterflies. They'll soon be hibernating, I'm sure. Well, the old rectory, of course, will be quite near to the church. The schoolhouse usually adjoins a school, but there's no way could I find any school in the village of Felmersham. And we've gone full circle now. We're just on our way back to the church. Now, Rose Cottage here was built in the 16th century. The whole village consists of about 3 short roads. Not many buildings, not many people, but this lovely 19th century bridge. And this is where we leave Felmersham and go on to Radwell. Well, we've just pulled up and Teddy from Boston and our doggy, Noddy Doggy, is sitting in the car with me looking at Radwell. And as Felmersham, we start near the river, and there's the high-rise walkway, because this road can have 3 feet of flood water in it and is in the middle of the winter, usually about once a year I understand, is closed to traffic. Incidentally, both these villages are only about 12 miles from my hometown Wellingborough. I'm standing on the bridge now, and I'm quite surprised there's not more water rushing down these rivers. Look at all the rushes and the weed growth and everything, and there's a little bird in there that unfortunately flies away. And of course silly Keith carries on looking for it, doesn't he? Anyway, there's loads of growth in this river, and it fascinated me how it is waving about like long strands of hair. I've got to add that this was an absolutely beautiful day. And just to remind you, we are standing on a bridge that has been here since the year 1750. That's looking from the bridge up into Radwell village. Most unusual, isn't it? Fascinated me, all this movement. And I stood there and I thought, golly, think of all the wildlife, the little grubs, little water flies, fish and everything. Absolutely ideal for them, isn't it? And there's someone looking for an early worm. Keep your heads down, you little worms. And as I've shown in many of my village walks, there's a standpipe that is used for water for the village in case there is a shortage. Of course you can see the wheelie bin there, so it is bin day, and while I was in the village the actual bin lorry came to empty all the bins. I thought by way of a change on this walk I would film a few of the more up-to-date villas. These haven't been built all that long. There's not a lot of thatched buildings in this village, but there is some very nice modern ones. And fancy an apple? Well, of course, these buildings are all around the village green, and these are the oldest buildings in the village, including our next scene of the pub. Look out, all you little mices and moles, there's a big bird coming after you. And we're going to leave Radwell with a look at a few trains. The railway runs quite close to the village. See you again sometime. I will add that I am standing right close to the road, so you're getting car sounds. And be warned as the next train comes, because I've now will be moving to a road over bridge, and as the next train comes, there's a whopping great big noisy lorry comes as well. So annoying. We're quite near to an airfield. Those of us who are a little bit older, it's a big change from the little tiny coal trucks that used to run up and down these rails when we were kids. I think it's the final shot where the lorry goes by. So I'll say goodbye once again.